Ms. Elghawaby, first of all, how is Aymen doing these days?
He's doing a lot better. It's been a lot in his spine from the evening of the 29th when the shooter, was shooting indiscriminately at the worshipers, and he was shot 7 times. From that night where he was left in a coma for 2 months, and since then been receiving rehabilitation for all these months until now. There's been huge progress, but of course, it's still very, very difficult for him and his family.
Remind us what happened to Mr. Derbali that night in January.
So he, along with many other worshippers, were gathered for evening prayers at the Quebec City's main mosque. They were in the middle of evening prayers when the shooter entered the mosque and immediately started shooting. The worshippers, of course, started running. There were children in the room, and Aymen, instead of running away, he actually turned to face the shooter. And this has been confirmed by eyewitness who was there and watched that from behind a pillar. And Aymen was trying, actually, he explained it, to distract the shooter, trying to actually get his attention so that he would focus on him instead of the others, and he would give the others an opportunity to get away. It's an incredible act of heroism that he showed, and indeed was shot by the shooter 7 times and fell into the coma.
What are those survivors who described this think of what he did?
Well, the entire Quebec City Muslim community is thinking about Aymen all the time. They describe and they relive what they endured that night. It's very present at the front of people's minds in that community. I was there recently speaking to people visiting the mosque where they still are receiving, sadly, hate messages. But Aymen, despite all the trauma they've been through, Aymen is really at the front of everyone's thoughts because nobody really knows what he's going to do once he's out of the rehab center. He visits his home on a fourth floor apartment where his wife and 3 children live once a week or so, and can only stay for the day because the doctor has told him it's unsafe for you. If there's any type of emergency or whatnot, you won't be able to leave. And so it's critical that we help him find a home as soon as possible.
Let's clarify why that is, why he can't visit that apartment. You mentioned 7 bullet wounds, 2 bullets remaining in his spine. What is the long-term, potentially permanent impact this shooting has had on him?
So he is permanently paralyzed, pretty much from the chest down. He has some movement in his arms. When I first met with him, he was only allowed to be in a stretcher. He hadn't been able to be moved into a wheelchair. Now he's been able to sit in a wheelchair. He can move the wheelchair now. The problem is that in the apartment building, there's only one elevator. Should there be a fire or whatnot, it will be impossible to evacuate him from the building. So the doctor has told him it's critical that you find a home that is accessible for your wheelchair or a stretcher if necessary. And so that's why he has not been able to stay overnight. He can only stay for limited time.
What impact has this had on his wife and children? Not having him living with them, just dealing with the long-term worries about the future.
So Aymen, he's a 49-year-old man. He was really looking forward to a career as an IT specialist. He was very involved in the lives of his 3 children. And his wife, of course, was very much also dependent on Aymen. And so when I visited them, all I could see were creases of worry in their faces and sort of tears that were, they were trying to keep holding back. But I know that there's a lot of really because now he can play such a limited role in sort of upbringing of his children. And of course, the financial toll is immense because now they really don't know how they will, survive and provide as they were previously.
You mentioned this incredible outpouring, you call it, from Canadians who have learned about Mr. Derbali's situation and want to help him with this new home. Tell us about that response.
Really heartwarming, and shouldn't be surprising. We are also in the holidays by coincidence, so many of us are thinking about all the blessings in our own lives. So when we launched this campaign just about a week ago, after Dowan at the organization had met with community members, that we've been regularly going to the community to provide programming and support. And so when they were trying to understand how can we further support, Aymen's name kept coming up over and over again. So the crowd fundraiser was launched, and then immediately within 24 hours, 48 hours up until now, we just kept seeing donations coming in from across Canada, from even around the world. We're now at about over $150,000, and just overnight, even since follow-up in media articles, we're seeing thousands and thousands of dollars being donated to help Aymen and his family.
So, how has Mr. Jabali responded to this support he's getting?
Well, he's so touched. In speaking with him in the past few days, really restoring a lot of his confidence. But there was a sense of feeling a little bit alone for the family. They have been trying to get more support from officials and whatnot, and they had felt a little bit alone, I think. So this campaign has demonstrated to them why they should remain strong in their belief that fellow Canadians won't let them down. We are going to recognize his heroism, what they've been through. So right now, I think they're hopeful. They're looking forward to finding a home. They found one that may be the right one for them. It keeps them close to the mosque, where he's still very attached, where he loves to visit, loves to see his friends, and goes every Friday with his wheelchair now to be among the very community he's sacrificed his legs for and almost his life for.
Well, Ms. Elghawaby, thank you for talking to us, and congratulations on how far you've come with this. I wish you great success in getting to the goal.
Well, thank you so much, and we look forward to receiving more support from fellow Canadians around the country. Thank you.
Okay, good to talk to you. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.